Hello there! Welcome back to our channel. We've got quite the topic to explore today. People-pleasing. Ever found yourself nodding yes when you wanted to scream no? This one's for you. Today we peel back the layers of people-pleasing, an issue that's more common than you might think. It's a chameleon that takes on many forms, affecting our relationships, our work, and most importantly, our sense of self. It's when you find yourself constantly putting others' needs before your own, often to your detriment. It's the silent yes when your heart is screaming no. But why is this so important? Because it's not just about being nice to others. It's about understanding why we do it, the impact it has, and most importantly, how we can break free. So buckle up as we delve into the world of people-pleasing and how to break free from its chains. First off, let's clarify what we mean by people-pleasing. It's not just about being nice. People-pleasing is a behavior pattern where one consistently puts others' needs and happiness before their own. It's like always being on a self-imposed stage, performing to keep everyone else content, often at the expense of your own well-being. It's saying yes when your mind screams no. It's laughing off discomfort to keep the peace. It's constantly walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. People-pleasing isn't about genuine kindness, it's about fear, insecurity, and the desperate need for approval. It's a silent battle with oneself, a constant tug of war between your own desires and the expectations of others. It's a draining, self-sacrificing habit that can leave you feeling empty and unfulfilled. But why do we end up in this cycle? Let's dig a little deeper. People-pleasing isn't born out of nowhere. It's often rooted in a deep desire for approval and a fear of rejection. That's right, it's not just about being nice or accommodating. It's about a quest for validation, a need to be liked, and a fear of causing conflict. The first root cause we're going to delve into is the need for validation. It's human nature to seek acceptance and approval from others. We are social creatures after all. But when this desire becomes a compulsion, when our happiness hinges on others' opinions, we start to lose sight of our own needs and desires. The second root cause is fear of conflict. Some of us are so afraid of confrontation that we'd rather agree to things we don't really want to do. We want to keep the peace, avoid arguments, and maintain harmony, often at our own expense. This fear of conflict can lead us to suppress our own thoughts and feelings, leaving us feeling unheard and unfulfilled. The third root cause is low self-esteem. People with low self-esteem often feel that they have to earn love and respect from others. They may believe that they are not worthy just as they are, so they try to please others as a way to prove their worth. This can become a vicious cycle, as people-pleasing often leads to feeling used or unappreciated, which further diminishes self-esteem. Finally, it's important to remember that these root causes often stem from early life experiences. Perhaps you grew up in a home where your needs were often overlooked, or maybe you were praised for being agreeable and accommodating. These experiences can shape our behaviors and patterns later in life, and understanding them is the first step towards breaking free from the people-pleasing trap. These roots can have a profound effect on our lives. Let's see what that looks like. Constant approval seeking isn't just tiring, it can lead to stress, burnout, and even resentment. You see, when we constantly seek validation from others, when we're continuously on a quest to please everyone around us, it can have a serious impact on our mental health. Stress starts to pile up as we take on more tasks, more responsibilities, more of everything, simply because we can't bear to disappoint. But here's the thing, we're human, not superhuman. Our energy, our time, they're finite resources. Over time, this stress can lead to burnout. We become emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausted. We may lose interest in things we once loved, feel less productive, and have difficulty concentrating. It's like running a marathon without a finish line in sight. But it doesn't stop there. Resentment may start to creep in as well. It's a bitter pill to swallow. But when we're always the ones giving, always the ones bending over backwards, and it feels like we're not receiving the same in return, resentment can grow. We may start to feel unappreciated, overlooked, and undervalued. The fallout from people-pleasing doesn't just stop at our own mental health. It can also spill over into our relationships. When we're constantly saying yes to others, we can unintentionally create unrealistic expectations. Our loved ones may come to expect that we'll always be there, always be willing, always be available. This can lead to tension and conflict when we finally do start to assert our boundaries. And let's not forget about our self-image. Constant people-pleasing can erode our sense of self. Instead of knowing who we are and what we stand for, we might start to define ourselves by how well we can meet others' needs. Our self-worth becomes tied to others' approval, and that's a shaky foundation to stand on. It's a tough cycle, but guess what? It's breakable. Let's go over how you can start to break free. Breaking free from people-pleasing isn't about becoming selfish. It's about self-preservation. So how do we do this? Let's delve into some practical steps you can take to halt the cycle of people-pleasing. Firstly, we need to master the art of saying no. This tiny word holds immense power, but using it can feel like a Herculean task for many of us. The key is to understand that saying no doesn't mean you're a bad person. It simply means that you are prioritizing your own needs, and there's nothing wrong with that. Remember, every no to someone else is a yes to yourself. Secondly, setting boundaries is crucial. It's about defining what's acceptable to you and what's not. And once you've set these boundaries, you need to communicate them effectively. It might feel uncomfortable initially, but it's an essential step towards breaking free from people-pleasing. Now, let's talk about self-care. Often, people-pleasers neglect their own needs and desires. They're so busy making everyone else happy that they forget to take care of themselves. It's important to remember that self-care is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Whether it's taking time out to relax, pursuing a hobby, or simply doing nothing at all, it's vital to carve out time for yourself. Another important step is to start valuing your own opinion. People-pleasers often look for validation from others. But the truth is, the only validation you need is your own. Start by acknowledging your feelings and trusting your judgment. You'll soon realize that you are capable of making decisions that are best for you. Lastly, seek support if you need it. It's okay to ask for help, whether it's from a trusted friend, a mentor, or a professional therapist. Remember, it's not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. Remember, it's okay to put yourself first. It's okay to say no. Your worth is not determined by others' approval. You are enough, just as you are. With these strategies, you can start to break free from the shackles of people-pleasing and start living a life that's true to who you really are. We've covered a lot today, from understanding what people-pleasing is to how we can start to break free. Let's quickly recap some of the key points we've discussed. We began by defining what being a people-pleaser really means. It's when you prioritize others' needs and happiness before your own, often compromising your own well-being. We then dug into the root cause of people-pleasing, which often stems from a deep-seated need for approval and a fear of rejection. It's not just about being nice, it's about seeking validation. This constant search for approval, however, can lead to stress, burnout, and even resentment. It can affect our relationships and our self-esteem. But the good news is, it's not a life sentence. We can learn to break free. We explored some practical steps to stop being a people-pleaser. From learning to say no, setting boundaries, to practicing self-care, we've highlighted strategies that can help you reclaim your power. It's important to remember, it's not about being selfish. It's about self-preservation. It's okay to put yourself first. It's okay to say no. And most importantly, your worth is not determined by others' approval. We hope that this video has provided you with some valuable insights and practical steps to start your journey towards breaking free from people-pleasing. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and consistent effort. But every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to becoming the person you want to be. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, share with friends, and subscribe for more insightful content. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Until next time, remember, you have the power to break free from people-pleasing.